Film Suočavanje s ratom je vrlo važna priča o onome što se dešavalo proteklih pa skoro 4 godine u Ukrajini, a pogotovo kada je šef NATO-a bio Jens Stoltenberg, današnji ministar financija u Norveškoj, ali čovjek koji je proveo deceniju na čelu NATO alijanse. Jedan od onih koji su radili s njim u tim godinama je Krisztian Meszaros, koji je bio dio njegovog kabineta, koji mi se sada pridružuje. Krisztian, welcome to program N1.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy to be here.
So, reaching consensus through difficult times while you were working with Jens Stoltenberg, and through him reaching consensus with others was quite difficult during these years. But can you reveal a bit of that? What was happening behind the scene during all those years with Stoltenberg? I know that he says that that was a difficult time, and sometimes he was not able to tell us everything what was happening behind the scene.
So reaching consensus is always difficult, and we always live difficult times. Just look around now. And that was the case when he was the Secretary General, as you know, for 10 years, one of the longest running NATO Secretary Generals. I think, and I'm here, of course, for the documentary Facing War, which shows the last years of Jens Stoltenberg in office. And I think it shows very well that consensus requires a lot of diplomacy, discussions, negotiations, and most importantly, compromise. So to come to an agreement, everybody has to give something. And I think to help people to get there, you need somebody like Jens Stoltenberg, who's a convener, brings people together, and shows where we could get and what's the good position for everybody to reach. So I think behind the scenes is something that you see every day. A lot of discussions, a lot of patience, a lot of negotiations, and at the end, compromise. That's very important.
I read in his book, which he just published, that he says, I left open the doors of my home office so I can hear a phone. And probably your phone was also too ringing 24/7 when something was happening. But that is still happening today, and we are not close to the end of this war. But how important was that we had someone who has so much diplomatic experience, including Balkans, at the position of a Secretary General, and what we can learn from this documentary and that reaching consensus when it comes to Bosnia and Herzegovina and partnership with NATO?
I think it's very important to be always alert and to have somebody like Jens Stoltenberg or Mark Rutte, who's the current Secretary General, who are in their essence negotiators and who try to bring people together and bring us again to that famous compromise. I think if there's a lesson to be learned for Bosnia and Herzegovina is the importance and value of dialogue and coming to agreements. That's something that we do at NATO from day to day. So that, I think, is an important lesson for all of us. Discuss, listen to each other, and come to an agreement. That's very important. And indeed, the phones are still on, because as you can see, especially with Russia's aggression against Ukraine, the situation in Europe and internationally, globally, is quite precarious. So we need leaders like Jens Stoltenberg, but also Mark Rutte, who are always available for other leaders and other people to find solutions to the big problems that we're still facing.
Bosnia's path to NATO is somehow stalled because of our inner difficulties, but we have several countries in the region who are already members of NATO. What we could get, what kind of benefit we could get, especially in troubling times like this, if we moved closer, maybe not to full membership, but stronger partnership and cooperation with NATO?
There are two elements in your question. Number one is NATO enlargement, of course, which has been a historic success. If you look at our wider region, I come from Hungary, a country that joined in 1999, and many countries in this Eastern, Central, Southeastern Europe, as you point out, have joined NATO and become more prosperous, more secure, and more stable because of that. So NATO enlargement is a success, but NATO enlargement is never something that NATO itself looks for. NATO is not expanding. It's countries that want to come and join NATO precisely because of the benefits that I mentioned. So that's number one thing on NATO enlargement. Then when it comes to Bosnia and Herzegovina and cooperation with NATO, of course, we have 3 decades-long relationship, whether it was through I4 and then a partnership, the Partnership for Peace, for now almost 2 decades. So we've been working a lot together, and allies support Bosnia and Herzegovina through defense reforms, defense capacity building, and other reforms as well. And just this year, we agreed the individually tailored partnership program, which is basically a cooperation program, where through cooperation at NATO, we discuss, but we also work together and provide additional support to the needs of Bosnia and Herzegovina. So I think our relationship is in a good, it's a good and healthy relationship. And then when it comes to possible aspirations, it's up to Bosnia and Herzegovina, the people and the government, to express their will, sovereign will, and then for allies to decide on that. But again, NATO and Bosnia and Herzegovina, we're doing very well together.
Krisztian, thank you so very much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you very much.